The Mandalorian is known to be the show that somehow revived the fandom's love for the legendary classic series, nurturing a franchise that has been growing for many decades. With the conclusion of Season 2, we saw what most likely will be the end of Mando's relationship with the cute little alien baby, Grogu. And now, many are wondering, what is in store for the third season? Well, let's dive right in head first and see what we can expect to see in the third season of The Mandalorian, and how Mandalorian Season 3 is about to change everything. Following the ending of the second season, there have been a lot of moments left unrevealed and a lot of questions left unanswered. One of these many questions is what is going to happen with the conflict between Mando, also known as Din Djarin, and the power-hungry Mandalorian huntress Bo-Katan. As stated by Season 2's baddie himself, Moff Gideon states that for Bo-Katan to wield the Darksaber, which was her global right from the start, she must kill Din Djarin. This leads to a large amount of tension between the two Mandalorian characters. Now, let's find out more when it comes to the legendary weapon, the Darksaber. The Darksaber represents the most mighty type of saber weapon that can be encountered in the Star Wars lore. The weapon is quite simple by design. It lacks any typical markings that would classify it as a lightsaber. The weapon, crafted by the first Mandalorian warrior to be accepted into the Jedi Order, eventually fell into the hands of Pre Vizsla, one of the first rulers of the Great Mandalore. To avoid future conflicts or any sort of corrupt power struggles within this legendary warrior culture, some of the rules have been established on what happens with the Darksaber, how it is handled, and of course, the political power it can bring for the planet Mandalore. It is written in ancient Mandalorian scripts that the weapon itself is a powerful relic. Whoever wields it is granted absolute rule and power over planet Mandalore. On top of that, whoever wants to wield the weapon and to be considered the next herald of the throne must defeat the current champion in a brutal Mandalorian death match. From Season 2, it was clear that the whole reason Bo-Katan even bothered helping Din Djarin on his quest to save Grogu was to retrieve the Darksaber that was once hers. However, with the resurgence of certain imperial pressure surrounding the galaxy far and wide, the legendary Darksaber ended up in the wrong hands, right into the sleazy hands of Moff Gideon. Bo-Katan considers herself to be a powerful leader, and for this very reason, she is determined on retrieving the Darksaber, and due to that, crown herself as ruler of planet Mandalore. However, Moff Gideon tricks Din Djarin by handing out the Darksaber he was wielding to him, and with that, putting him in a predicament that he will have to overcome only by essentially killing one of the few friends he has made along the way. The tension is real, and so is the hype. Fans have been speculating and wanting to know what could happen between these two fierce Mandalorian warriors ever since the finale of Season 2. The reason for this tension is mostly since Din Djarin has had the most layered character development throughout the show, as he grew from the mostly brutish ways that he was brought up by, the orphan rescuing children of the Watch. However, that vigorous Mandalorian pride and honor he possesses still rage. And of course, the same could be said for Bo-Katan. For them to not uphold one of the most honored and respected laws within their religion would be a great sin to commit for both of them. Now, of course, it's still fairly lighthearted, meaning there could be some sort of unexpected twist where Bo-Katan gets to keep the Darksaber without Din Djarin having to die in combat. Another thing we can say about this upcoming season is the fact that there is no more Baby Yoda or Grogu. This opens up a huge plethora of new opportunities for the show to take in completely different and probably unexpected directions. From what we could gather, the old cast of the show is most likely not going to make an appearance, save for Din Djarin and Bo-Katan. Boba Fett and his newfound friend Fennec Shand are most likely going to have completely different plans for their adventures because of the fact how they practically take over Mos Eisley by killing Jabba the Hutt and taking the thrones as the king of bounty hunters. While the other characters have their personal lives to go to, all of this implies that the third season of this beloved Star Wars show may introduce a mostly Mandalorian cast of characters, the likes of which we have never seen before. Now, what exactly are the Mandalorians? The main reason why Mandalorians exist in the first place is because of how much fans adore the inclusion of the classic character Boba Fett. Mandalorians were introduced into the whole expanded universe of Star Wars, the stories and tales that went beyond the films and more into the realm of novels and comic books. Mandalorians were a feared bunch, a warrior race hailing from an already scary planet that grew into a society that glorified combat, violence, and burning passion for dominance. This society raised the most fierce combatants that the galaxy could ever withstand. So much that the DNA sample for the clones that were used during the Clone Wars hailed from a Mandalorian, Jango Fett to be exact.
I appreciate its return.
So, from as little as we know from this upcoming season, we most likely will finally see a live action and a mostly likely fantastic representation of the planet Mandalore. Fans can't wait to see what's going to happen next. However, if the show's lore is anything to go by, the planet's former glory has been kindled out by decades of ruthless combat. And of course, the great Mandalorian purge committed by the Confederacy of Independent Systems. This leads to many Mandalorians seeking out shelter in completely different, almost untraceable worlds, or generally giving up the way and tradition that they were raised upon. Of course, some Mandalorians grew into cults or sects, such as the Children of the Watch, of which Bo-Katan remarked that Din Djarin is a part. Such cults were necessary to keep the bloodline of Mandalorians as well as their traditions, despite Imperial interference. What we could expect to see in the upcoming season of this show is a greater overview of how Mandalorian tradition, life, and overall heritage has withstood the times of the Empire, and also after the Mandalorian purge during the Clone Wars. We will most likely be introduced to a completely new roster of characters who will be characteristic of Mandalorian culture, similar to Bo-Katan. That, of course, completely depends on the outcome of the possible lethal conflict between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. Another number of fans are speculating if we are going to see Grogu at all in this new season, and the answer is still unknown. Also, Jon Favreau may probably be taking a path for this show in which he shows deeper appreciation for the Star Wars lore. That is to say, that we could probably see at least a more in-depth look towards Grogu's origins, maybe even a deeper look into his race and Yoda's race in general. Yoda and Grogu's race has been an obscure part of Star Wars lore, but this third season may unveil the great secrets that this powerful race may have been hiding, as well as the origins of Grogu. Well, that about wraps it up for our expectations on what is probably going to happen in the third season of this fan-favorite show. As Season 2's curtains closed, it opened up a completely new world that we are eager to see and have all of our burning questions answered with this third season. On a related note, we wanted to know, which part was your favorite one from our video? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.